EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free. Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling. Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using Buddy Payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money. Welcome home.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we get, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Tillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, folks. Good evening, and of course, welcome, goodly folks. As per usual, pull up your chair and get your family standing by. Come on, gather them around, because this is really instructive. Let's have some frank talk. I want to thank you for joining and of course continuing your 2-month journey into 2023. Today is already the 25th. 3 days time, this month will be the second month to end in 2023. Why the speed? Where is the year going already? And you see how much we really and truly have to saddle up that horse and get ready to, stake our claim on life, because life is happening while we are busy making other plans. So this year, we want you to, of course, make that effort to continue to be wiser and more aware as to the how, what, who, when, and where to avoid on your forward, onward, and upward journey. This is our 110th Independent Live session and our 8th for 2023. Goodly folks, remember to share the live. Let's get people into the room. Let's be as interactive as we know how, because I'm usually very, very enticed by your interactions, your comments, and your your likes, and your whatever it is that you however you choose to interact with me. Of course, the topic for today is centered around integrity, continuous disciplined action. But we'll get a lot more of the definition of integrity as we go along in tonight's edition. You know, integrity is described as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Integrity is something that we say doing the right thing, whether anyone is watching you or not. Let's help to put integrity into perspective. He is known to be a man of integrity. Of course, this cannot be said of many people among us, whether in leadership or followership positions. That in itself is tantamount to the deterioration of our society over the years, in particular from 1995 to 2022. Could you imagine a leader who is known to choose weak operatives, whose loyalty to him preclude them from having any designs towards integrity, choosing people to be on a commission of integrity? Papi show, such commission must look like such leader. When things change, such commission must be totally dismantled and thrown away. Such commission must be staffed by people who are well-intentioned and imbued with a modern thinking, as against by stale thoughts from properly retired sycophants whose usefulness to the past cons would have long been expired. You see, integrity speaks to doing the right thing, whether anyone is watching or not. Similar words for integrity are, listen to them, is a slew of them, folks. Upstandingness, good character. Because remember, I always tell you, character is who you are, not what you are. It is better to have a character than to be a character. Principles, ethics, morals, morality, righteousness, nobility, high-mindedness, right-mindedness, virtue, decency, fairness, scrupulousness, sincerity, truthfulness, trustworthiness. Of course, the opposite of integrity is plain old dishonesty. And we know a person who gives dishonesty life, put legs on the dishonesty, has always been a flawed character. And obviously, dishonesty should be that person's first name. Sad, but true. Like we all witnessed firsthand by the old nastiness and his crew. Sad, but true. You see, folks, integrity speaks to the state of being whole, undivided. 5 attributes integrity is known for. Let's hear them. Dependability. Dependability, of course, means people can rely on you and that you keep promises. You don't just give promises to win a contest and to hell with the people you promised. Oh no, oh no. Loyalty is another attribute. Employers or leaders especially value and appreciate the loyalty of their followers, of their staff, of their employees, of their team members. Honesty, integrity, honesty is a fuel for integrity. Good judgment, and of course, respect. Now, a person with integrity must be trustworthy. Trustworthy, and they have to be trusted with a secret, and there must be a person who is reliable, because reliability speaks to trustworthiness. Let's look at dependable. Someone who will always show up when they are expected to show up. Someone who can be expected to deliver what they promise on time. I remember very soon after Hurricane Ivan just rampaged this country, just like how the last brigands rampaged the country from 1995 to 2022, except that Ivan was natural. You know, I remember showing up at a very, very dear friend's home, notwithstanding that I was totally decimated. Didn't even know where I was sleeping that night. But I showed up at that person's home to see them, to make sure they are all right, because that person was terminally ill. And you know what that person said to me? Wow, I knew you would come, you know. I knew you would come once everything was okay with you. Now that is dependability, folks. Loyal, someone who will be true in a relationship, whether intimate or regular friendship. Someone who will not be a sellout with your private affairs, one way or other. What is the golden rule of integrity? Folks, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This seems the most familiar version of the golden rule, highlighting its helpful and proactive gold standard. What is that? Respect. Integrity has 4 principles, folks. 4 principles. From research, it is gleaned that when we analyze what characterizes businesses that display a high level of integrity, we find that they generally abide by what we ought to conceive as the 4 C's. Because you see, a business is inanimate, and it can only have and observe the 4 principles of integrity by the people who give that business life, starting from the top down or from the bottom up. And the 4 C's are commitment. But that commitment must be to quality, so that when you collect people's money, people received quality in exchange. Congruence, agreement, harmony, compatibility. A lot of people mix up harmony, things in agreement, things in unison, with harmony. A lot of people have money and they don't live in harmony. Consistency, unchanging in nature, folks. Standard or effect over time. So you expect same high standards, same quality over time, consistency, and of course, coherence. The quality of forming a unified whole, coherence. The 3 forms of integrity. Internal integrity. This is your integrity at the deepest level. External integrity. This is what you portray to those around you, so people know they can trust you. Not old talk, and when you come back tomorrow, you forget what you say yesterday because you only intended to give that old talk so you could pass through and get favor. No, 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 folks. And then image integrity, similar to external integrity, but this is the image of your integrity, the integrity that you embody, image integrity. For one to be a person of integrity, he or she should embody all 3, and each should be on display as part of the consistency of that person at any level. You can tell someone of integrity, according to Sean Kelsey, a University of College of Los Angeles professor of ancient Greek philosophy. You can tell a person, someone of integrity, by what? When he or she takes responsibility for their actions, putting others' needs above their own, offering to help others in need, giving others the benefit of the doubt, choosing honesty in all things, showing respect to everyone, manifesting humility, being able to admit they are wrong, showing regular reliability, and conveying true kindness. That is what the qualities you can look for in a person on parade, in a person of integrity. Why is integrity the most important value? Integrity is a very important virtue, folks. It's very important for us to have it in life because it helps us to be a good person. When you have integrity, you're more likely to make good decisions, treat others with respect, and be successful in life. Without integrity, people can become dishonest or sneaky, even if they don't mean to. But how do you know if someone lacks integrity? Well, that's easy because we saw that on parade here from 1995 to 2022. Among you should be familiar with that. But for those of you who are not, and for those of you who need a jog in memory, let me share some stuff with you. All around us, there are clear warning signs that several people that we deal with just won't do the right thing, whether anyone is watching them or not. They just will not, they won't even make a mistake to do the right thing. Ambiguous, indirect, and of course, non-specific speech. Lying through their teeth just to stay ahead of the game. And even when called out on the lie, joke you making, they're sticking to it through repeats of the same goddamn lie. Hey, we saw the old nastiness been doing that for all of his political life and was successful because he was able to fool a majority of people for so long. Hello? Sad. Defensiveness is another way you can show somebody who lacks integrity, whether on a vocal basis or through total silence. A matter of fact, I remember going to a particular restaurant once when my nephew and some friends out of the US had come here. Took them to that place. Oh, Jesus help you. Terrorism for service. I know the owner well, so I elected when I met that particular person. I said, you know something? I need to talk to you, man. I came to your place the other day and XYZ. Wow, it was terrible. What? That person got so defensive, offering excuses upon excuses and telling you why that was happening. Well, you know, that happened 6 going on 7 years now. I have never gone back to that place. Needless to say, folks, I have not even seen that person but once since that encounter. No interest whatsoever. That's a person who lacks integrity. Very defensive. But a person who lacks integrity, the language and behavior is always, both of them, always inconsistent. They say one thing and they do another. These are the people that make you realize that you should always follow what someone does and not what they say. That person that lacks integrity, they refuse to apologize or accept accountability, just like that so-called restaurant owner, that torture shop. Wrong and strong. They lack reliability all over the place while leaving people guessing about expected delivery. They're all over the place. Frequent compromises because of a lack of a plan and ability to stick to the required standard. They are always having to compromise because what? They lack a plan. Oh gosh, a person of integrity always bragging as if to distract and mama guy. A person who lacks integrity, rude and very argumentative. And of course, that rudeness and argumentative nature fueled by ego and possibly in the men an overload of testosterone. Oh God, a person of integrity. The old nastiness, of course, lying through their teeth because of their inherent character flaw. A person who lacks integrity is emotionally disconnected, stone-faced and inanimate. A person who lacks integrity, that person lacks a forgiving nature, never willing to forgive anybody, even though they may have been the recipient of much needed forgiveness that others meted out to them. Sad. A person who lacks integrity demonstrate they have high intelligence, which is used in the wrong direction, in a self-preservation manner always. Their high level of intelligence is always me first, me second, me third, and to hell with you. But folks, it was Bob Marley who said, quote, "The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively." Isn't that beautiful? So once we are so committed to affect and impact those around us positively, because we are people of integrity, we would find agreement that integrity is really continuous, disciplined action. Let's take a little break here and come back, and we will, of course, continue our marathon here this evening because we have a very juicy program for you folks.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, Antillian Group, Country Cold Store.
The strength of views and opinions expressed during EDDIE-FICATION are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, wonderful. And folks, this is where we take a little break so that we can pay you some homage, some kind of, just respect and say thanks for joining us. So we have here Angel, Crean, we have Hannah. Welcome, my dear. Blessings to you. Marietta, the Goose Senoj. Quite an interesting nomenclature there. We have Terry. We have Maria, Janelle, Jennifer, Carmel. Blessings to all of you folks. Cynthia, Kenneth, Sam, Antha, Allison, Eudine, Alma, Margaret, Sweetie, Yvette from Maryland. Welcome, my dear. Welcome. Who else do we have? Elva. I look at some of your lives. You're a ball of fire, my dear. You're just Natural as they come. Leslie, wonderful to have you. Shirley Ann, welcome, welcome. And that's on one platform. The other platform, let me see if I can go to the top here. We have some people who have actually signed off for the next 40 days. They're taking a little sacrificial period because it is Lent and they want to make that sacrifice so that they can purify their spirits. Peter, welcome. Kathleen, Janice, Roxy, Yulene, who else? Elisa, Christabel, Shadona, Mimi, Kathy, who else? Renee, Anne-Marie, David, Alice, Joan or Joanne, Donna, Sue, Wendy Ann, who else do we have here? Jocelyn, Anne, Karima. Karima, my dear, blessings to you. Charmaine, John, Vivian, Marva. Well, this one is King, I don't know how to pronounce that, but anyhow, we say Mitchell. Another Jennifer, Sadonna, well, I said that already. Who else? Another Yvette, Brenda, Alistair. Who else? I wish I could pronounce that name. Kingswt, Mitchell. Blessings, blessings. Judith, Janice. Who else? Lily. Carrie Ann, welcome. Anna, what happened to you later? What? Who else? Bernadette. Teresa. Wonderful. Jerry, good and faithful Jerry. We have a Kathy. Who else? Another Brenda. Betty Ann. Princess. It's so wonderful to have all of you in the room tonight, in the house. Remember to hit that share button and let's get some more people in the room because we have a lot to share. This particular subject, because integrity seems to be a very, very odd word to a lot of people. They don't realize that when you keep your word, a simple little thing as keeping your word to your financial institution builds credibility and trust in you, thus causing you to get everything you need from them because they can trust you. But a lot of people go and hide instead. Go and hide. They're living in town and they park their car by a friend in Sortes because they don't want the repo man to get it. Instead of calling the bank and going in and sit down with them, go in and sit down with the credit union, have a discussion with them. Everybody knows that everybody is challenged today, and everybody is challenged at different degrees. The challenges are relative. People want to be understanding. People want to watch you in your cocoge and pick up the sincerity in you so that they can vibes you and trust you and learn from you that your word is truly your bond. People don't have that in them anymore. They had 1995 to 2022 learning how to jip the system, learning how to pull a fast one because they had transactional con men and con women as leaders for all this whole period, to the point where, Lord help us, the place mash up, folks. The civilization, bad, Anyhow, let me keep quiet and move on because we have a lot of turkeys to fry tonight. Welcome back. Talking about integrity and continuous disciplined action, folks. Hard work and a life of service with honor and not for honor has its true rewards. The following words sum up a Grenadian lawyer of good repute: principled, decent, focused, sincere, trustworthy, dependable, honest, good judgment, respectful. Those qualities speak to the inherent nobility that constitute a lawyer who is worth recognition among his peers as an esteemed senior counsel. As an independent state with Commonwealth connections, we still regard senior counsels as Queen's Counsel, QC, when, of course, Queen Elizabeth II was alive. And now, since her passing, King's Counsel, KC, since, of course, King Charles III ascended the throne. Now, folks, I can afford to tell you that our very own Ruggles Ferguson, now KC, a contemporary of mine from the same generation, is the latest member of the local bar to ascend to the esteemed level of King's Counsel. Ruggles Ferguson is a graduate of the University of the West Indies, Faculty of Law, and the Hugh Wooding Law School of Trinidad. He has been in private practice for just under 30 years, I believe from 1996, focusing on, of course, on criminal, civil, and constitutional law. He's been involved in dozens of judicial reviews and constitutional applications covering a wide spectrum. Close to 25 years, Ruggles Ferguson has been the managing partner of Siboney Chambers, one of the larger law firms in Grenada. Mr. Ferguson is a former president of the Grenada Bar Association, former president of the OECS Bar Association, and current president of the Organization of Commonwealth Caribbean Bar Association, OCBAR. He's now serving his second term as OCBAR's president. This is a true record of service above self. He believes that umbrella bar associations like OCBAR have a critical role to play in uniting lawyers throughout the region and beyond to make a positive difference on the global stage. OCBAR supports the work of the CLA. Ferguson has served on several local and regional bodies, including the Public Service Board of Appeal in Grenada for over 10 years, on the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, for 5 years, and on the Council of Legal Education, the regional governing body for law schools, for several years. He also served on the Constitution Reform Advisory Committee, which led the work of the November 2016 Grenada referendum, and on the CCJ Advisory Committee, which led the work for the November 2018 referendum to determine whether Grenada should join the appellate jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice. Mr. Ferguson has appeared at all levels of the court, including the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council and the original jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ. He's admitted to the bars of Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, British Virgin Islands, BVI, and the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Ferguson is also president of the Grenada Chess Foundation, a member of the International Chess Foundation. Folks, I want to invite you to join me in congratulating him on this well-deserved achievement of King's Counsel, KC, for the yeoman's service he has given to the legal profession. I am sure his colleagues, both at the regular functioning levels of the local legal profession and those who enjoyed the esteemed level of QC, now KC, are jubilant because of his ascension to the pinnacle of his career in the legal fraternity. Ruggles, I'm quite proud of you and your achievements, which of course reflect how diligence and continuous disciplined action pays off in the end. Let's take a little short break here and we'll come right back to continue with some fire and brimstone.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
The strength of views and opinions expressed during EDDIE-FICATION are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training, and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Okay, folks. Okay, lovely. Welcome back. And for those of you just joining, I want to welcome you also to the platforms, whether it is on Facebook or on YouTube. Talking about integrity, folks, I am hearing of this as happening much too often, and thought I should share for the edification of the several unsuspecting among us. The older generations that are not technologically savvy, you have to be able to develop trust in the people you allow to service your smart devices, be it your smartphone, your tablet, laptop, or even your desktop computer. Since integrity speaks to doing the right thing, whether anyone is watching or not, you have to realize that some of these technicians are savvy enough to find your passwords and enter your social media accounts for whatever reason. They may therefore use your pages to like certain things unbeknownst to you. And when you get back your computer without realizing it, others who look at your page and are inquisitive as to what your interests are or maybe can see what you like and therefore paint a picture of you that you do not deserve, if perchance there are any things there that are untoward. Without the facts, they can spread things about you that are not necessarily true, as is known to happen all too often. This is happening to many people right here in Grenada. Where is the integrity of these so-called technicians? In conversation with one upright technician recently, he advised me that he had to tell off a colleague technician the other day for telling him and others in a social setting that he sees certain people and calling names, looking what he sees them looking at on their computers and smart devices. So there goes any chance of being totally private, even with your devices in the comfort of your space, just because your repairman is mouthy and would not respect your choice of viewing and or general interest. This did not happen here, but listen to this, folks. A Grenadian friend of mine whose device went to a repair technician in a part of the Grand United States was visited by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, within 2 weeks of his device being returned to him, as the intelligence picked up that his IP address had downloaded valuable information on a specific date relating to bomb-making techniques. Granted, it turned out nothing serious, as they only wanted to talk so as to, one, establish that they have their eyes on him, and two, that they know his every move on the internet. But you know, fortunately for him, he could have proved that his device was not in his care on the date in question, as it was with the repair technician. He had a receipt to prove it. Folks, you see the importance of receipts. Make sure these receipts have the correct dates regarding the device not being in your care. Upon visiting the repair technician, they discovered that he too just searched for something randomly after he was finished servicing the computer, and it turned out to be relating to bomb making techniques. Again, he was to realize that he entered the radar of the FBI going forward, as deeper research on his use of the internet proved that this was probably the first time he ever surfed the net relating to that controversial subject, and not even under his own identity. Could you imagine that? Then we have the incidents of hackers who gain access to your virtual sphere by phishing through bogus emails and links, which so many people unknowingly and mindlessly download. And there goes their information, to include access to passwords, all passwords, with bank accounts not being spared and social media accounts being compromised. We have to be careful, folks, because the latest thing is for them to plant very outrageous porn on you and other savvy people with no good intention for you, upon peeping to see what you like, whether on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, et al., having a different look at you. All this time, you are totally unaware of the source of their funny glances and, in some rare cases, scorn towards you. These can all happen fluidly in societies where integrity is only a word in a book on a shelf in a dark and forgotten room. Like Grenada, our people have learned from the best when it comes to leaders with serious character flaws and whose intransigencies they ignored over the years and continue to ignore, while trying to pass the bootleg leaders off as historic and among the best. The only thing they were best at was crookedness, conmanship, nastiness, bubble, and turning their supporters into perpetual beggars, rendering them mostly useless to society at large. Folks, integrity speaks to, I know what I am, and I am being that consistently. I know what I want, and I'm chasing it consistently. Integrity, being aligned with who you are, your values, your beliefs, and of course, your dreams. Having integrity gives us confidence in self, that our self can stand on its own and be its self. What a pity, the last crop of nastinesses that posed as leaders, that a certain inferior phenotype accepted and embraced for so many goddamn years, and whose characteristics many of them absorbed to make good fodder for the commentators like myself to opine on and genuinely and truthfully reflect, and who in return hate the reflections that are mirrored about them. In fact, one such person who emptily and mindlessly followed the old nastiness and his brigands over the years, and who I can vouch for as not a beneficiary, but surely an enabler just by his support, met me recently and told me I should ease up now, because every time I speak on the old nastiness, he has regrets for ever supporting him while not paying enough attention to the real goings on with the old nastiness himself. He had to admit that he's totally ashamed when he hears so many negative things attributed to the old nastiness today that he never knew were going on under his watch, and in many cases underwritten by he, the nastiness himself. The confidence these nastinesses exhibited to everyone locally and to the world, just by virtue of the world having internet access to what has been going on in Grenada under them over time. We could have sensed a coherence of their souls clinching an identity that was consistent with all of them being rogues and thus the worst of who they really were as human beings. Their consistency was that their desire to not want to be a group of people of integrity, as they never were good at even making a mistake to do anything good for anyone. The other hot item on the go these days, folks, relates to a vulgar news item by the New Today. The New Today's online newspaper with the following caption: "The rogue NNP minister." And all we can say to that is, oh, Gede. In conversation with a trusted friend recently, I was asked if I want to hazard a guess as to who this rogue NNP minister was. Of course, when I proffered a name, I was told, no, not that one. And the person hastily added, but it is good for people to think so, because he had no right to be assembled with this gang of crooks if he wasn't prepared to be one too. Oh, Gede again. Then I was told who this nastiness in question is. Oh, Gede. He is the same one another friend of mine told me recently that he saw looking like a vagrant. In other words, like himself, having lost his seat in just about every polling division to a newcomer to the politics. That they had every bad thing to talk about, and yet the good vibes of the universe promoted to high office. Wow. The New Today's article spoke to the actual intransigence of this crook receiving a donation, an alleged donation from an investor whose honorable intention for a poor and vulnerable woman came to naught when he reportedly trusted the hands of this elected representative back then to deliver on his behalf to this destitute woman some valuable assistance that was intended to give her a break for 1 whole year while she catches herself. But you know what my $1 million question is? How come this poor and vulnerable woman never mentioned this as a means of getting this scoundrel of an NNP minister back then to be accountable? She may have been so dedicated and loyal to the party as a supporter that she could not be bothered. Sad. The spell they have over their supporters is mind-boggling indeed. Let me show you a formula regarding the sum involved, folks. The alleged donation, EC $20,000. Alleged money paid to the woman, EC $600. Alleged monies kept by the rogue NNP minister, EC $19,400, representing 97%, while the destitute, vulnerable supporter was given 3%. And they love the poor and vulnerable. How the people used to say years ago, a ball when I hear that. I have told you before that the poor and vulnerable represented a lucrative business for these nastinesses who must have received good intentioned monies to help improve their lot and fed them scraps while they retained the majority so they can sport ultra modern new model vehicles, nice homes, acquired lands and other properties. I recently saw a conversation that was started by an Ali Mathura post on Facebook Friday last. Yesterday, actually. Ali Mathura, he posted. So the new plan is to mobilize their supporters to call on radio and pretend to be disgruntled NDC supporters. But an Albert Marcel responded, the NNP lackeys are yearning for the good old day when they hold no-show political jobs and collected huge monthly sums of money. They are raving and desperate maniacs who are trying to bring down the NDC government. They will not succeed because while they spew their venom and rhetorical crap, the government is very busy solving the problems of the people and carrying out the transformation process. We will forge ahead in spite of the sustained attacks by those detractors, falsifiers, deceitful and vulgar propagandists. We have one foot in the past and the other in the political cemetery. We must also respond promptly to their vicious propaganda. Life moves forward and not backward, unquote. Well, of course, you know I had to chime in. That was too salacious for me to miss. And in chiming in, I say only idle people will have time to do the bidding of people who are bent on keeping them poor and vulnerable. Kya, kya, kya. But Sawyer Philip responded to that by saying, Edward Frederick, you don't get it. It is said that for a teaspoon of water, a thirsty man will kill his mother. NNP kept them not just thirsty, but unable to think, see, and walk, unquote. Folks, what did I tell you? To do otherwise, to live otherwise, to that of continuous disciplined action is to live without integrity. Let's take a break and we'll come back for more.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, Antillian Group, Country Cold Store.
The strength of views and opinions expressed during EDDIE-FICATION are not necessarily a reflection or representation of the sponsors and or affiliates of this program.
Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.
Wonderful, 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 folks. This is my final segment. So listen up, brace yourself. Brace yourself, folks. And for those of you just joining, whether you came in late or not, that's okay. That's okay. You can always go back because this is going to be posted on Facebook and you can have access to it. There's some people that don't want you to see them looking at the live. So they go at their leisure and they look at it after. Good? Because they want to be able to see you and tell you, I don't listen to he, I don't have no time for he, but they don't listen already. Even the tone in which they tell you they don't listen to me tells you how aggravated they are from my last sharing. Very interesting, you know. I tell you, you know, a lot of people don't realize that people with sense can see through them. Welcome back. All who have eyes to see, folks, can see that ardent followers continue to do the bidding of those nastinesses who are out of office with resources to live well while they are scrunting all over the place. It is a good thing they are only attracting their kind to listen to and to tune into their rubbish, showing up themselves constantly as totally lacking any place in an organized society. The transformation is a must, and we shall proceed to move forward one step at a time. After coming from such devastation and finding ourselves in a civilization entrapped in the rubble of the NNP, it is better that we proceed with caution, inch by inch, so that we can make a cinch, because yard by yard, it will be hard. People are seeing the light, one achievement at a time. After all, folks, you forget, teachers got back their docked salaries 1 month after the new administration came into office. Public servants who suffered for years, dating back to the early 80s after retirement, were paid their gratuities under the Pension Reinstatement Act, to the point where some people have not even spent a cent to date because they are taking time to process what just happened to them so soon after the new administration won an election on such a promise to pay them their long overdue monies. I know people who, they're like Silas Mana. They're watching the money. They're watching it because they never see that kind of money yet. And they don't want to part with it. Public servants are about to receive their salaries on the 15th and the last day of every month. A promise made in the campaign, which is being realized long before the first year of the administration in office. And we were told by the old nastiness, it's not possible, it's not feasible, it's not possible, and a joke they're making. You remember that? Lots of work is being done by the rock star, one of the rock stars, I should say, instead of an MP, the one for the South, Andy Williams, in his new mobilization and implementation ministry, with the South getting much needed attention. All questionable transaction-based diplomatic positions were recalled, in other words, dismissed. And bit by bit, corrective measures are being taken to right position people in various positions to reflect who we are as a people instead of the alleged international rogues with personal benefits parading as our ambassadors. Statutory boards are being outfitted with members with capacity to become certified directors, as against political lackeys and dunces and misfits, helpful to oversee the demise of those said boards. Look at what happened to the marketing board. But they had boards from 1995 to 2022. They had boards of directors. Where is it today? It bust. It mash up. Folks, the list can go on to no end in terms of the serious changes being addressed to fulfill the new government's transformation agenda. Lots of the things needed to be done require imagination, with the money following close behind. Interestingly, once the imagination inspires goodwill, the money usually follows. Look at Dubai and Singapore. Just to name two prosperous states, they started with visionary leadership and a disciplined people who were led to believe that what they are enjoying today was possible way back when they got their independence. Grenada, a state that incorporates 3 islands to include Carriacou and Petit Martinique, was led in the main by rogues and conmen and conwomen without any imagination for the betterment of the people. And so, to hell in a handbasket, we have arrived full speed ahead under them. Even the hostility of our people in service cannot be understated, far less to be understood and imagined. I witnessed a man in a village mini-mart recently who asked the cashier what name should he mark or make the check to. When she responded, you know, I too heard what she said, the same as the man. He wrote the name on the check as he heard it. The other cashier had the task of cross-checking the check in the absence of the supervisor, who, without any communication whatsoever to the staff on duty, disappeared into thin air. The man was graciously advised of the slight correction on the check by the second cashier. And the mistake on the check had to do with the name of the business. He said, well, that is what I heard the first young lady say. Without chiming in, I also heard what he said he heard. The first young lady who said what she said, omitting the first word to complete the name, responded with the utmost hostility and total indignation. I tell you that? What would a man? It is here, folks, I had to chime in. I said, hey, that's what I heard from you also. You should see the crossed eye this young woman put on the two of us as customers. Ode to the deterioration of our civilization at the hands of the Lucifers that passed themselves off as leaders that our people went back time and time again for second, third, fourth, and fifth helpings of, to the point where when they were tired of the tomfoolery and the inferiorization of the civilization, they brought a stop to it on the 6th attempt at more of the same. This leaves these disciples of the old nastiness in the cold to be coming up with feeble rumors in the form of attacks, as if to stymie the transformation agenda of the forward-thinking administration that is not into gimmicks and tomfoolery, as the thief of the Grenada shipping agent's money was into when it was his turn at the wheel. Folks, it is such an amazement that when a mark is busted on any of the gang members led by the old nastiness, the details can fit almost any member of the gang. People don't have to call names, and people are believing what they want about any one of them in relation to the same release. Isn't that sad? That just by association with that old nastiness, everyone becomes as guilty of nastiness. Folks, it is simple. If any one of you want to craft a life of significance, you must practice integrity and hold fast to proper virtues. To increase levels of integrity as well as virtues of greatness, here are 6 practices according to my favorite life coach, Brendan Burchard. Think before you act. Never make a major decision without considering major categories in your life: your personal well-being, your relationships, and of course, your social responsibilities. Never commit to anything where you lack passion and enthusiasm. It's important to stop saying yes to everything. And this is because these failures occur in your life because you go about these pursuits half-heartedly. So if you lack 100% passion in doing what you feel you must in pursuit of that thing that you're after, please don't get involved in it. Keep your word, folks. Keeping your word is self-explanatory. You should do so in order to remain true, noble, and trustworthy. I always tell people and show them that my word is my bond. Always treat others with respect. Keep your word is a serious form of treating others who you depend on And these people depend on your word also with respect. In giving respect, it means you do not harm others. And allowing others to express themselves freely. That's a form of respect, folks. If even we do not approve of the opinions and expressed thoughts of others, we do not have to disrespect them for their thoughts and opinions. The fifth practice of integrity is to tell the truth. Ultimately, you are wounding yourself by lying to yourself and others. The man who lies today is haunted tomorrow, doomed until the specter of his very own lie appears in front of all. Folks always favor action. When our mind wants something for good and meaningful reasons, and we don't pursue it, it is like we are dismissing our own selves. It is vital to understand that integrity is found in taking action that supports our genuine desires and values. You know, Brendan Burchard goes on to also share 9 virtues of greatness, which are all closely related to integrity. Very, very interesting, folks. Closely related to integrity. Demand honesty and be uncompromising regarding truth and inspire others to do the same. Folks, demand responsibility and be uncompromising also in that sphere. This is something too many avoid because it's easy. One of our jobs in life is to activate and encourage a more responsible nature in those we encounter, starting with ourselves. Demand intelligence. We must not celebrate ignorance and laziness, as well as things that lack substance. Move away from and avoid people who lack intelligence and substance. They might damage you. Demand excellence. If you are truly striving for greatness and to craft a life of significance through that greatness, everything you do must be done well and to completion. You must strive for the highest level of work and achievement in everything you do, folks. But you must demand courage. At the end of the day, the world's faith lies with the number of people dedicated to courageous action. We must defeat our own fears and instill the same strength in those we care for and serve. We must motivate people to not just talk, but act. Remember, one man with courage is a majority. We must demand respect from others. We must for sure respect to everyone, because you can't receive respect without showing respect in the first place. And that is why the old nastiness found it difficult to get people to respect him, because people cannot respect disrespect. Wants you to respect the office, but the nastiness in the office disrespecting the office. Folks, demand vigilance. There is a healthy level of paranoia, and you should be focused on the things that matter and being honest about progress towards those things. But we must also demand service when we go anywhere. I do it and I succeed. Service is the intent to do good and to do well for others, as well as to provide assistance in time of need. That's what service is. Stop sitting back and allowing politicians to do you what they want and to do what they want. Demand service of them. Demand unity. We all focus on tolerance, bonding, and community, as well as inspiring others to do so. It is important to remind others that we are all in this thing together. Folks, I totally agree that these practices of integrity and virtues of greatness are what will help forge a remarkable people as we journey towards 50 years as an independent state. Grenada is not a state anymore. The nastiness mash it up. Grenada is in a state instead. And what a terrible and sorry state we are in. If only we could implement these practices of integrity and the virtues of greatness, we will make a tremendous impact in our neck of the woods that translate into a life of significance for us all. Dismiss all dunceness and attempts at distractions by all the freeloading, poor and vulnerable parasites among us who are seeking to have their distributors of crumbs to them return to take the nation's scarce resources and give it to them for free. Folks, remember, integrity speaks to continuous disciplined action. I am gone. Toodaloo. See you next week, God willing. Regular programming again. Until then, I want you to stay safe, stay well, and remain lifted. I want to thank all of you for joining me this evening. I suppose many of you, when you saw that topic, you never thought it was sexy. You never thought it could have been spun in this way. But of course, integrity is so sadly lacking in our people. And it is actually affecting how we do things. It is affecting us. Look at the people, look at how people drive on our roads. No integrity. The obstruction is on their side of the road and they're still bolting coming through because they're in a hurry. Where is there to go in Grenada that one ought to be in a hurry to get? Most people you see going in a hurry, they're going in the opposite direction of the hospital. They're going in the opposite direction of the cemetery, but they're in a hurry. Hurry to go where? Because they have no discipline. They will not leave their homes or wherever to go to a meeting with enough time. They will not leave their homes. Look at what happens at 8 o'clock. Grenada is an 8 to 4 mostly workplace. Country, most of the people at work, 8 to 4. But 8 o'clock on the road, there's traffic jam. Where these people going? And in the traffic is the boss too, the manager. What kind of example is he leading? He can't even tell you who reached late because he reaching late too. The place is sad, no discipline. And everybody only looking out for public holiday. They just want a holiday because they don't want to work. Everybody picking up their phone and they know how to call you to beg. You go to the supermarkets, they tell you they can't even find people to cash. They can't find employees. They can't find them because people don't want to work. I tell you, the nastiness mash up the place. Giving people handout. So if you're getting handout and you're getting little or nothing and you're happy with the little or nothing, what are you going to work for? The place is sad. I remember telling you this before, and I'll tell you this as a close off here this evening. I remember since I was young growing up, I like to write. And I always had a backup pen. Poor as roach, but I always had a backup pen. You could see inside the refill to know how much ink it has left. No. So my backup pen was for my schoolwork not to stall, for me to just proceed. But you will have some of your schoolmates who are socialized in that way to beg because they learn this begging thing. They learn it from who they're living with, coming to school, and will identify my other pen as an extra pen. Hey, well, you have 2 pens. Lend me the extra one now. Imagine I left home with 2 because I'm thinking I don't want to stutter in my schoolwork. But they left home with none. You surprised today that some of them are 10 children and counting? You surprised today that they're eating the bread the devil need? No, you shouldn't be surprised. But I saw that coming for them way back when. Because you see, children live what they learn. And a lot of them catch poverty from their mother and their father. They catch it because it's a virus. My mother poor, so I had to pour too. They didn't come to break the cycle. They came to fit in and not to stand out. The thing's sad, you know, folks. And they tell you, well, that's how it is. What am I going to do? And they give up. And you know, these people could vote. And there were a lot of them, you know. So you know how easy it is to fool that kind of people. No wonder we were in that rut, stuck in that old hole for so long. But you people who never voted and never used to vote because you didn't see anything on offer to vote for, you better stay awake and continue to vote because you have to keep that kind of thing out. Keep the nastinesses out. Because if they come back, well, I tell you, is no self-Grenada will be a nation of poor and vulnerable to the 10th power. Because they have no imagination. They have no character to begin with. They have no imagination, no forethought, no vision. So you and I know this round, Grenada will end up looking like the Lally drain. If Columbus were to be invoked and he comes back, this time it's Grenada you're recognizing, not Dominica, not anywhere else. It's Grenada you will recognize because it would be very close to how he left it when he passed, when the alleged story of him passing and he saw it and he called it Conception Island. It will be close to the same because it's mash up, they will mash up this place. Folks, let's keep rogues, dirtinesses, and nastinesses out of politics. Get rid of them. You see when they're out of politics and you see them in town how they're looking like their normal self, old rogue and old vagrant. They don't even know that they should keep themselves at a level. Folks, they think bad, you know. Bad. Anyhow, I run my mouth enough. So take good care of your wonderful selves. Have a lovely day tomorrow. And God's richest blessings. Let's put dirt where dirt belongs. Let's scoop up dirtiness and nastiness and throw them in perseverance. Keep them out. Cheers. All the best to all of you as I take my leave here this evening.
EDDIE-FICATION with consultant human resource development and training specialist Eddie Frederick is powered by Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited and Tillian Group Country Cold Store.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to make payments online hassle-free. Log in securely with biometric technology. Make recurring payments easier with automated scheduling. Save time by paying your bills online. Transfer money to accounts at other local and regional banks. Send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. Or send money to friends or family using buddy payment. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money. Welcome home.
I want the best for my family, so every meal has to be perfect. Every bite has to say, There's no doubt in my mind that the best in frozen meats and vegetables has to come from the Country Cold Store. Hams, turkeys, sausages, beef, pork, chicken. I just don't know my family is in safe hands. Thank you, Country Cold Store, for being there for us for the past 40 years.
The Country Cold Store, providing the best in frozen meats and vegetables since 1969.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
I'm telling you, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Attention all forward-thinking companies. Sure, you can do with a continuous positive boost to your image and impact your bottom line. Hiring the right people with the right attitude and mindset is where to start. Even if you did not get it right through your current hiring methods, we can help develop the right mindset for your current employees. If you think training is expensive, try not training and you will experience a perpetual downward spiral in patronage on account of increased dissatisfied customers. Take things into your hands and engage the best at motivation and customer care training with a tried and tested track record. Visit www.efrederick.com now and learn how you can change the atmosphere in your business and improve the customer experience for everyone who does business with you. Spice Island Beach Resort and Belmont Estate are two such local entities of world renown that have benefited tremendously from ongoing customer care, social skills, and motivation training. Training changes everything for the better for any business and every team member. Enhance employee performance through increased awareness and passion for the job at hand. Greater potential in your workforce awaits you through engaged, high-energy training that works. Log on now, www.efrederick.com.
Eddie Frederick has got it all. Inspiration, motivation, great advice, and biting opinion pieces as only Eddie Frederick can deliver. Eddie Frederick has got it all.